Welcome to a Tuesday afternoon episode of the Talking Shop podcast. Not coming to you live, but we're coming to you anyway. Michael from Medium Rare Cards is here. Find him over on Instagram. I'm Josh from Grand Slam Cards. We got It's Cobb directing in the background for us, and we're here to talk some shop, some new releases, and some exciting things going on in the hobby. And our fun over the weekend. Michael, how goes it?
It goes well. We got a exciting episode for you today. We're going to talk about you going to Collect-A-Con. It's not often in the history of this podcast that you go to a show and I don't. So I can't wait to hear a recap from that. There's a little rumor about some like loaded boxes of Bowman Chrome. Want to touch on Lorcana, see if that was at the show. Then we're going to jump into what's heading to the shop this week. Some pretty big releases, especially on the TCG side. We're going to jump behind the counter, talk about the CardPorn scandal. I know a little bit of time has passed between when it broke and now. Wanted to let the energy run out of that a little bit and talk about it and get your take on it. We've got one really good listener question somebody posted on our YouTube page that we're going to tackle. Do we have some hits from the shop? Maybe some hits from the shop, a card from the vault, maybe?
So I got a sweet card I picked up at the Collect-A-Con show. So we'll do that one in that segment there.
Excellent. And then after that, we're just going to do Crazy Stat of the Week and wrap things up. But first, Josh, Collect-A-Con, how was it? You went last year compared to this year. I want to hear about the crowds. I want to hear about the vibe.
Yeah,
what was it like?
So a couple of my employees went up Saturday while two of us held the shop down. And then, like last year, I went up Sunday, which I find is the better way to do it for me because no line. I heard there was a long line to get in. And so, Sunday, you can just kind of walk right in. I think I was behind 2 or 3 people, bought my tickets at the door. I took my 12-year-old with me. And so he's a big Pokemon guy. And I knew from last year, this show, even though it's Collect-A-Con, and there's a lot of sports card collectors out there, this show is 90% TCG, which stands for trading card game, like Pokemon. So of that 90%, Jacob, thumbs up or thumbs down, but I think 80% of it's Pokemon, right? Out of the 90%. So that's a lot of percentage. That's too much math. Needless to say, lots and lots and lots of Pokemon and a bunch of other TCG games and a little bit of sports card stuff. Saw some really cool sports cards. Saw some really nice Brady's, but I didn't go there with the intention to buy anything there. So I bought a couple things, not a lot. I really just go to walk around, see who all's there, have a good time. There is a TCG game that over a year ago, I was one of the original Kickstarters. It's called Alpha Clash. And I went last year and the Kickstarter was rolling and they were just beginning production and they had some promos to give out, but they had no product for sale yet. Since then, they've released product for sale. And
Ooh, that's good looking.
They're actually on like wave 2 or set number 2 of this product, but the game is called Alpha Clash. It's a trading card game. The first set's called The Awakening, and then they've got one more set that just released. But yeah, the cards it's very Magic the Gathering kind of a feel to it, but they use a lot of heroes, and there's different.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so they use some really cool artwork, and we're superhero fans at my house, and so anything that kind of blends those TCG games with superheroes, I was interested in trying. So I did buy a booster box of that, and I bought Camden, who you'll see in the thumbnail. He went with me, and we bought him some Pokemon stuff. All my employees were up there. Like I said, a few on Saturday, then we all went up on Sunday, and it was a good time.
So a couple things. I see the Lorcana box over your shoulder. Was there a lot of it there, or was it just still limited even at a show like Collecticon?
Yeah, so you couldn't, and man, he probably won't want to do this. We should bring Jacob on for this segment, because he was like more laser focused on looking for some of that. I kept my eyes peeled. I didn't see any sealed product. Jacob said he saw that there were some packs for sale. Didn't you say $15 per pack? Yeah. And so if you can find it right now, it's going to be really high price because it's so hard to find. There's supposed to be a second wave of this first chapter next month. And then November is still the release date for chapter 2. And so we'll see more of the first chapter, I would think, before then. But yeah, there was a lot of the singles in the cases that were expensive. Yeah, I didn't see one booster box for sale. Did you, Jacob? Did you see any booster boxes or troves or anything? $300 is what they're asking for them. Yeah. I'm surprised I didn't see any at all, but it's hot. It's hot. We get a call probably at least once a day, sometimes multiple a day, just people checking on Lorcana if we've got it. So I say it sucks we don't have it, but it's a good sign that there's such demand for it that it might have some staying power.
Now, my follow-up to it is you've set up at some other local shows. You're like a sanctioned store for some of these TCGs. Is this an event that you're like, you know what? It'd be worth setting up one year.
I mean, if you could get your hands on enough product. So
that's the rub, right?
Yeah, it's always the, same with breaking. We would break a lot more online, and probably people are wondering why we don't break as much. It's because getting some of this good product is tough. And I always said from day one when we started the breaking group, I'm not going to drain the shelves locally to break it online. As much as I love my online guys, I got to have stuff for the people that walk into the shop. And same goes for shows. I can't take this sealed product to shows and sell it. I want to have it here for the local customers, but it would do well. We're going to talk about a new Pokemon release when we get to New in the Shop that's coming this Friday. That's going to be hotter than a firecracker.
And then one last thing, Jacob, if you could pull up this video, it's a Jeff Wilson video, and if you're catching this, obviously you're going to be catching this on the replay. But if you have seen any of this in the wild or been a part of a break where this loaded box, I'm going to let you go ahead and roll this video, Jacob, and hopefully we get some audio with it. Go ahead.
Breaking news into the sports card investor newsroom. Sources have just told me that there are magic boxes with the new Bowman Chrome going out today where the entire box is filled with auto cards or filled with relic cards. Now, I'm told these boxes are very rare. They're hard to find. There's less than 12 of them total that have been produced, but they are out there. And collectors today that are ripping the new Bowman Chrome, keep an eye out for these magic boxes. If you see a collector who's got one, or if you get one yourself, make sure to tag us because we want to see what is inside these things. All relics or all autos in a box, that's incredible. Now, this has not been officially confirmed by Topps or Fanatics, but I've got pretty good sources that say those boxes are out there right now. Good luck finding a magic box of Bowman Chrome. I've got...
Ooh, very magical.
Very, very magical. So a little twist on a bounty, right? Now they're throwing in these hot boxes. There have been some hot boxes, right? Sometimes I know Allen and Ginter's coming up, right? That's coming in the next couple weeks. Sometimes you'll get an Allen and Ginter box where they're all like, if you're not familiar with Allen Ginter, they've got this old stylish look. But if you get like a hot box of those, they all have this foil treatment, right? Josh, have you seen those? Have you opened one of those before?
Yeah, I think they're I think there's some where you get I don't want to get this confused with Gypsy Queen. I think you get a purple numbered card in.
No, that's Heritage.
That's Heritage. So yes. So I have come across the Allen and Ginter. It's every card is kind of like a gold variation.
Yeah, it's like a rainbow foil.
Yeah.
Like a rainbow, not a rainbow foil, but it's got this treatment to it to where it's obviously not a base card, and every card in the box is that. Yeah. Now, they've had that before, but maybe because it's Allen and Ginter, it doesn't get sort of the love that Bowman Chrome, but I think
I've seen one of those opened in the shop, one of those Allen and Ginter hot boxes. And with like Donner's Optic baseball, they're like 16 box or 20 box cases, and there'll be like 3 hot boxes in a case of that. And usually it's one that's got, instead of 2 autos, it's got 5 autos.
Nice.
It's got a colored or a numbered card, one in every pack, and stuff like that. But I like these God boxes though.
Yeah. It's not as it's not as rare. I mean, there's only 12 of these boxes, and I don't know if it's the box, if he means the box or the master box, to where both of the boxes, or if it's just one of them. So it'll be interesting to see. I love this concept. Again, it's sort of like that golden ticket, trying to get a little bit of hype around this product, as if Bowman Chrome needed any more hype. But very, very cool. Let us know in the comments if you've seen this. I thought about buying a box of Bowman Chrome just to, like I said, it's like a golden ticket, but
hold it and hope they only find like 10 or 11 of them.
There you go. There. Josh, what is coming to the shelves at Grand Slam this week?
A few fun products. I'm a little hesitant to say coming this morning was more Bowman Chrome. We could get some fill-in Bowman Chrome products. But by the time people are going to watch this, we're probably going to be about sold out, because I got a case of it and a half case of HTA, and we're already almost sold out of it. So by the time you hear this, we may not have any on the shelf, but we did get some more of that in this morning. But Flawless Football is Wednesday, which is tomorrow, actually. Leaf Trinity Baseball is tomorrow. That's a sweet, fun product. Leaf Exotic Football is tomorrow as well. Also a fun product. I also bought that really heavy. So if you kind of like that product, please come buy a box, because I'll have plenty. Friday is Mosaic Football. Don't have a ton of that coming. Story of the football hobby box life right now for shops, but especially mine. But we'll have that on Friday. Allen and Ginter Baseball, which we were just talking about. I do have a good bit of that coming. That's a good average to lower priced baseball hobby box. It's fun to open. We'll have a bunch of that on Friday. And the big Pokemon release for this Friday is Pokemon 151. That is one of these little subsets. So we don't do pre-releases, and they don't sell booster boxes of this product, but it's going to be hot. We've had a lot of calls about it over the last few weeks, and that launches in the store this Friday.
All right. Well, educate me here, right? What's going on with the Pokemon 151? What's making this a hot release?
We need It's Cobb just needs to be part of this podcast, so he probably knows.
Jacob, jump into this with us. What makes the 151 such a hot release?
151 is the concept is the original 151 Pokemon, so that's where the 151 comes from. It had a Japanese release. I don't know. Some of these subsets have just kind of always been really hot and really anticipated. Crown Zenith, and a couple others that jump out at me. I want to say Hidden Fates. Is that right, Jacob? That was one of the subsets of Pokemon. So I don't know. I don't know what makes these so hot. I'm not the biggest Pokemon expert, which is why I have a couple guys that are, but I think just the fact that it's one of these subsets that releases in between the major sets, and maybe just the premise of the 151, the 151 original, probably means a little something to hardcore Pokemon people. But we're gonna we'll start selling it 11 a.m. when we open on Friday. So if you want to guarantee yourself some, just come on Friday, specifically before noon, and you'll be able to get your hands on some. We always try to limit it per customer, so someone doesn't just buy out all of it. So you come before noon on Friday, I will guarantee you can get some.
Awesome. I might be by for a couple of boxes of that Allen and Ginter if you've got plenty of it. I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. Allen and Ginter, Gypsy Queen, that's my jam.
I opened a box of Allen and Ginter like 2 years ago, and the card was a flower, because you can get trees and flowers and sharks and galaxies and everything like that. This was a special flower, but what made this card unique was you could plant the card in the ground and that flower would grow. So that's just an example of some unique products that I heard one of the local guys, this was years ago before I was in the business, I believe he pulled a dinosaur bone relic.
Yeah.
I've heard of those being in there.
The thing for me, not only is it different, they've got the rip cards in this product, which have a little bit of mystery behind it and chance. But if you're into like non-sports and it's like celebrity cards, you will find some celebrity cards in Allen and Ginter. Like if you like the Pop Century product, Allen and Ginter may be another version of that for you to get into the hobby. The fact that they had Gary Vee in it one year, and they're going to have some other pop stars. They had like Chip Gaines from like Joanna Gaines's husband in it one year, and his autos do really well. So I'm interested to see. I haven't checked out who's on the auto checklist for that, but looking forward to some Allen and Ginter.
The Grand Slam card shop in Tennessee. It's kind of, it's been around for a long time. It's nationally known. The owner of that a couple years ago had an autograph in Allen and Ginter. So I don't know what he had to pay to get himself in that, but he put a bounty on his autograph. I think it was it was fairly short printed. I don't think there was a ton of them out there. So he was putting a bounty on his own autograph, which is smart. I'm looking at the this year's checklist. Robert De Niro, Kevin Hart auto. They've got rappers. They got obviously rookies, and I'm looking to see if I was thinking maybe they'd have a checklist of some of the cool. Let's see here, parallel cards. I want to find just the non-athlete. We can probably pause for a second and just see.
Don't pause the recording. We'll go. De Niro. Let's see, auto checklist.
Framed mini non-baseball autograph checklist. All right, I'll just name off a few that'll jump out at you. These are autographs in this year's baseball, Allen and Ginter. Anthony Richardson, the Colts quarterback. Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud. So there you go. Let's see. Some of these guys, Ian Rappaport, John DiMaggio, Lil Baby. So they always put some rappers and some pop artists in there. Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart has, I guess it looks like he's just a mini. That's hilarious. There's a little asterisk by his name, and it says, Topps later teased their inclusion as minis instead. Okay, it says, please note that the original checklist from Topps listed full-size autos for Kevin Hart and Robert De Niro. These cards were removed from the updated checklist. Topps later teased their inclusion as minis instead. Well, if De Niro was short, I would say that's funny, but Kevin Hart being the only mini one in there, I thought that'd be pretty funny, but De Niro's a mini one in there. But Robert Kraft, Rafael Nadal.
I mean, on top of this, if you scroll down, I'm not crazy about the employee autograph checklist, but I am crazy about this cut signatures checklist. Andy Warhol, Buffalo Bill, Charlie Chaplin, Dwight Eisenhower, Mr. Rogers, Harry Houdini, Paul McCartney.
Wow.
Mark Twain, Nelson Mandela, holy mackerel, John F. Kennedy, and I don't know, I won't say that. Marlon Brando. I mean, wow, this cut signatures, they're all one of ones. There's 20 of them.
Wow.
So it's no joke. And like you said, Allen Ginter is not a high-end product. It's fairly affordable for a hobby box.
Yeah. Well, in the main checklist too, Wembanyama's got an autograph in it too, so that'll be kind of cool.
I mean, this is pretty loaded.
It sounds like you need to get down to Grand Slam this Friday and get you a box.
There you go. All right. Well, that is new in the shop. Let's jump behind the counter. So, Josh, I don't know how much you've seen of this, but this whole CardPorn scandal was all the hobby talked about for about a week. That's why I didn't want to address it, because everybody else was covering it. Now the dust has settled a little bit. Some more details have come out. If you guys are not familiar with it, I'm just going to read a little summary. The CardPorn scandal involves Juan Garcia. And if this guy walked past me at the National, I would have never even known who he was. But he was apparently at the National. He was rubbing shoulders with Beckett and PSA and all those guys. The operator
is the operator of the Instagram account. Okay.
The operator of the CardPorn Instagram account, who falsely authenticated a Michael Jordan jersey as being worn in two 1996 NBA playoff games, sparking a significant controversy in the sports memorabilia industry. He faked the identity of a dead photographer to get this done, because then he could say that the jersey was photo matched. It was an extreme hoax.
Eesh.
And he would have gotten away with it. There have been some other content creators who have covered this. Go look at what they did on it. They'll do a way better job on it. But I mean, this happened quickly. Like the timestamp here, it says on June 12th, a Michael Jordan jersey was purchased for $26,000 from Gray Flannel Auctions. And then, let's see, on September 5th, the jersey was said to be counterfeit, and then this all sort of started falling apart on them. So within 60 days, this thing just started going haywire on them. But like I said, go out, find the true story. What's it? Darren Ravel broke it on the Action Network, and so go out and find those details. But what I wanted to talk to you about, Josh, is just with this and other scams and fakes. What do you make of this, man? I mean, is it?
When it concerns this dude, you got to think too, man. Go back and you got to start wondering about some of the stuff they've done before.
Yeah.
What are the odds this is the first rodeo, or is this just the first one they may have gotten caught? So that makes me nervous about that stuff. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we've talked about it on here in the past, but we've had some like really authentic appearing memorabilia come into the shop. I've purchased several Mickey Mantle signed balls over the years, and I'll get a good deal because there's no certificate, but it looks completely legit. And two balls in particular, and the you'd buy it from a 75-year-old guy that looks as honest as the day is long and said he's had it forever. And so I said, I'm gonna take a chance on this for the low price of whatever I got it for. But I sold 2 of those a few years back and told both people that bought them, if you get it authenticated and it comes back not authentic, come see me. I'll give you your money back. And one came back authentic and the other one came back not authentic over different time periods. And so I took care of the guy that I sold it to because he brought me the proof that the authenticity was questionable. But then I've learned that, there's a lot of fake Mickey Mantle stuff out there, and there's documentaries about that. But yeah, I would really need a really strong certificate of authenticity. The other thing, this is a little off subject, but it's on subject as far as that goes. Maybe I can help people understand. So some people will say, check out this card. It's autographed. Check out this. This is the picture of him signing it for me.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't mean anything because you can't pair those 2 items up. And so I use the example of you could take that authentic card, sell it, go get another one, fake it, hold it up and say, look, here's a picture of me getting or him getting this card signed, sell that fake, get another fake. Look, here's the picture. So the picture doesn't mean anything, but it's almost like I've had customers have a hard time wrapping their brain around that. They're like, no, but look, this is him signing it right in front of me, a live video. So that's why that doesn't hold up any water. But yeah, I mean, until something comes out from Panini or Topps or one of these big companies, Leaf, that their stuff isn't legit, that's the best way you're going to get it. And
I think on the other side of this, for me, Fanatics is probably licking their chops because they already have an in on authentic jerseys, game-worn jerseys, just because that's what they've done. And then to have sort of the inside track there, they can always just say, yeah, without a doubt, this stuff's authentic because this is our space. This isn't stuff that's been someone's pulling something out of a closet and saying Michael Jordan wore it. This is the real deal. So
I would also have a hard time buying a $26,000 jersey from a auction company called Gray Flannel.
I've never even heard of them.
Yeah. You would think if you've got a ultimate premier item from one of the greatest to ever live, you're going to run that through at least Golden or Heritage or one of these big companies. Yeah. You would think. So that just little red flags there, but it makes me cognizant of the fact that I wonder how many items out there that are signed are really not authentic. Even some reputable companies, they look at it and say, look, the brush strokes, you get in close enough. It's all done in one fluid motion. It's all done with the right type of, and he loops his Y's and his L's over. Well, I mean, a really good forger is going to do it all in one motion as well. And he's going to loop his L's. And so it's really hard to be 1,000% certain that that's the player's autograph. Like I said, unless you're getting it from one of these companies, Leaf and Panini and Topps, where those athletes are sitting down in front of them most of the time, even there you hear a little bit of scandal every now and again.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a shame because I think prior to this, they're starting to get some support for these in-person autograph cards. Like I started seeing that more and more, and people were moving towards that. And I think now it's like,
be careful.
Scare them away from that. Yeah, be careful. So, like I said, go find some the real details. We just gave you a brief overview, but drop it in the comments. Have you guys ever been part of have you been the victim? Hopefully you guys have not been the perpetrator, but the victim of some counterfeit merchandise, and then you really don't have any recourse, especially if you buy it at a show. You don't really know who you bought it from. and it's sad. It's sad that people will always try to take advantage of people and make a quick buck, but it's the
here's
world
something
we live in.
Here's a fun topic. Maybe this is a deep dive another time, but one of my guys bought a card at the at Collecticon this weekend, got home, scanned it was PSA graded, scanned the barcode on the back, and it came up with a warning saying that it had been removed from the registry and to contact PSA. And so he's of course tried to contact them, and they have no appointments for the day, and they've it's just a mess even getting a hold of them. But I thought, man, a lot of the times it's because that card has been reported stolen, and so it'll get taken off the registry. That's not the only time that warning comes up, but I made the comment to him. I said, of the hundreds and hundreds of graded cards I have purchased personally for myself, I've not once ever scanned the back of it before I've made the purchase.
Oh my gosh, me either.
Yeah. So
pro tip: scan if you're at a show, scan the PSA card.
Unless you're buying this, like he said, it's for his PC, so it's not as. And we're trying to do some research to get a hold of the person that sold it. He'll eventually talk to PSA when he gets through and get the whole story. It could be something different too, but yeah, I told him, look, well, if you ever go to sell it, that's where I was saying, if you ever go to sell it, the odds of someone scanning the back of it are slim, because I've never done it and I've bought tons of them. So yeah, it's a bummer that happens, but try to get to the bottom of it. Maybe we'll have an update on a future podcast. What happened?
Absolutely. So Josh, this week I was scrolling through the comments in our YouTube channel, and we don't get a lot of them. So guys,
we do read them. I get them in email notification form when we get them. So if you leave a comment, we read it. Sometimes I forget to go back and comment on it, but I still read it.
So comment on our videos. Let us know how we're doing. If you have a question, this is where this question came from. This is from Avery Greenwood 663.
Avery, we know Avery.
Absolutely. Thoughts on grading a 1 of 1? Does it really matter since it's still a 1 of 1? And we've talked about this. Part of grading a card, one of the purposes is to establish some rarity of that card in that grade. For context, the card he's talking about is a 1 of 1 encased triple patch auto or triple patch, which I know is super hard to grade to get a high grade in. So before you give your thoughts on this, Josh, we've sort of kicked this idea around a little bit. I went to eBay, and don't pull up the listings yet, Jacob, and just search for some names. One of them is a PC of mine because I was just curious. But so Trevor Lawrence, his last 10 1 of 1s that were not printing plates, only 6 out of the top 10 of his 1 of 1s had been graded. So 4 of them are raw. Dansby Swanson, my guy, 6 out of the 10. Corbin Carroll, 7 out of the 10. And then a little bit of an older player, and I wonder if the older players will trend this way, but Devin Booker was 5 out of 10 of his 1 of 1s had been graded in his top sales. So what say you on the whole 1 of 1 grading thing?
For the most part, I'm against it. Again, this is going to be personal opinion for the most part, but in his exact case, the encased triple patch, it's probably a nice thick card. It's going to have 8 corners and 8 edges as opposed to 4. Your odds of getting a 10, probably not very good. And then do you really want your 1 of 1 in a PSA 8 case? I probably would not, but here's a couple reasons of why someone might do that. If you go to sell your 1 of 1, players have lots of 1 of 1s. So if you go to sell yours and you can get a 10 on it, it does make it a little more desirable because not only is it 1 of 1, but it's a PSA 10. So there is some added desirability. So the first thing I would do is I would be super confident I have a shot at a 10. if I see some things that are going to say, well, this would grade fairly high, I think, but pretty confident it wouldn't get a 10, I wouldn't. A lot of what sells a 1 of 1, like if you're Dansby, if you're going to buy a Dansby card and you've got 2 to choose from, you're going to lean towards the one that you like the looks of, the eye appeal to you. That's more important to you because the rarity is the same. So, also what product it came out of. If it's a 1 of 1 out of XR as opposed to a 1 of 1 out of Prism, there's going to be a big difference there because XR is kind of that 1 of 1 loaded product where it's really, really tougher to pull something from Prism. So to sum it up, if I felt like I'm probably going to get a 10 because I cannot find an imperfection on the card, then I would entertain grading it. But it's your card. It's a 1 of 1. You get to set the price. And if someone wants it bad enough, they're going to pay what they want, whether it's graded or not. But I think if you can get that 10, it's the same adage with grading the card and the autograph to try to get that PSA 20, the 10-10.
Yep.
To me, it's like if you roll the dice and you try to get that 10-10, but if you don't, then it just kind of looks worse with a 10-9 where you could have just got like a regular PSA 10. So a lot of personal preference there for sure. If it were me, the best way is grade it from a better looking grading company. You get to set the price anyway, so put it in a really sweet looking slab and not just PSA. But if you're just going for eye appeal, those are all my thoughts. What say ye?
I think going back to the whole CardPorn scandal, going back to some things being iffy out there, get it slabbed just to get it authenticated. Just do what you can to where you're taking all the doubt out of the market, especially if it's not a PC card. Just get it authenticated. If you think it's going to get a 10, go for it. Grade the card. But
what
at
if it's
least
not autoed? What if it's a 1 of 1 that's not autoed like Avery's?
Then I would still do it. For me, this is like you said, it's personal preference. I would get it in a slab. Number 1, it protects it. Number 2, it shows it's real. And number 3, graded cards are easier to sell. Period. So, just to hammer the point home, or maybe continue the discussion, Jacob, if you could bring up the first eBay search result there. These are superfractors. And so you're going to see, I don't know who Kyle Harrison is, and I don't know what they took for that card, but a lot of these are going to be crossed out. So, that one's raw. Jet Williams, that's graded. Matt McClain, look at that. Corbin Carroll. Wow. That is someone smacked to buy it now. That's not even crossed out. And then you're going to go Gunnar Henderson. So a lot of these people just really don't care about the player. They just want to cash out of their golden ticket. Certainly the Lionel Messi probably is in somebody's personal collection. That Ellie, someone went and got that graded. Michael Harris. So you're going to see, it looks like, especially on the superfractor side of things, and that's mainly a Topps. There's not a superfractor in Panini. So it's going to be a superfractor. It's going to be something out of a nice product. It looks like about half and half are being graded.
Yeah. And to my point, which I agreed with all your points as well, but to my point, it looks like you can fetch top dollar on those because it's your card. You can ask whatever you want. You can take whatever you want. So people want that card. It's the only one. Maybe they like to buy them raw too and think they can grade it themselves and gain a little bit as well. But
all right, Jacob, if you could move over to the Black Finite. And so this is mainly going to be football. Look at that Tua. Holy mackerel.
He's playing well.
And that was early. That was before he went off for 466. That was July 31st. That is some faith there in old Tua. But that one's graded. And if you start scrolling down, most of these, there's a graded Aaron Rodgers, Jimmy G. So, Matt Corral. Good luck to you. Justin Herbert. Look at this one. The two back-to-back Justin Herberts. one of them didn't get paid for, right?
Yeah. So that's another,
So-
if you're wondering why there's two.
Keep going. That's again, it didn't get paid for again. So the 20th, the 30th, finally, someone hit buy it now on the 30th.
Or maybe the guy said, forget this, I'm done selling this thing online.
Yeah. So, and again, you're going to see there's really no definitive. I think you're going to see more on the newer side be not graded and raw because people just want to get rid of them. Look at that McCaffrey. My goodness, 1 of 1.
That's a rookie too.
Yes. Wow.
That seems low for him.
That is a low price on that. But Avery, I'm not sure if we answered your question. I just know that if you asked 100 collectors, 50 of them would probably say yes, and 50 of them would probably say keep it raw, as far as grading 101.
Yeah, so. Way the reason behind, like Michael said, slabs it up and protects it and authenticates it and makes it easier to sell. You're going to spend a little money grading it, but if it's a PC card, it wouldn't matter. So yeah, just depends on your ultimate goals with the card.
Now it's time for my favorite part of the show because I usually take a huge beating when it comes to card from the vault. Josh, do you have a card from the vault or hits from the shop? What do you got for us today?
So I have a card from the PC, so I guess it would be the vault. But a lot of you might know this is from Collecticon. I'm going to show the picture first here if you're watching. This is my son that went with me rocking the Grand Slam shirt. This is Chum Lee from Pawn Stars. So if you're not super familiar, he is heavy into Pokemon, and I would call him a super collector for Pokemon. So it was cool. Camden was looking at all of his cards, and I got to sit there and chit chat with Chumley for a little bit. Super nice guy. There's a trading card game. I showed you Alpha Clash that I like. There's another one that I've dabbled in a little bit and bought some product. It's a game called Cryptic with a K. So it's another upstart TCG. I came across this card a while back in my own Cryptic cards that I bought. And just looking at the card, I said, well, that looks a lot like Chum Lee from Pawn Stars. And so we were looking at his case, and Chum Lee had just some like lower end cards autographed by himself. And so I was like, I definitely want to buy one autograph card. So I said, how much is your autograph Cryptic? And he said $20. I said, I'll take it. So I now have that card autographed by Chum Lee.
Oh, that's great.
And it's from a game that I like because I'm not into Pokemon. All the other cards were Pokemon that he had signed. But I'm into this game. The dude even looks like Chum Lee, not on purpose, by sheer coincidence. And he signed it because he's probably been told 100 times he looks like that guy on the card. So I'll display that at my house somewhere and keep that one as a memory for Collecticon 2023. Fantastic. Super nice dude. I just sat there and asked him about the show and asked him if he was still doing YouTube. And he was not just giving me those like candid, short, get away from me, stop asking me question answers. He was like legitimately talking with people. And
oh, that's cool.
That was pretty cool.
All right. So I don't know how many months back it was, but I stopped by the shop, grabbed a box of Magic the Gathering, Tales of Middle Earth, Lord of the Rings. Last week, I got my submission back from that, and I wish I could do the Gollum voice.
Yeah, I was about to try and do it, but I don't even know what your card is.
It's the One Ring.
Oh, you got a 10 on it.
PSA 10, One Ring. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I got it listed on eBay for a ridiculous price. But this may just sort of slide back into the darkness, into the
Mordor.
Yes. So that's
what are comps on that card? Are there any? What's pop?
There are no comps.
Is there a pop count? What's the pop count?
Let me see. What's the pop count?
That surprises me that there wouldn't be, because that card is not serial numbered, so it's not super rare. It's tough to pull, but it's not super rare.
Yeah, let me just see.
It does have black borders, so getting a 10's a little tougher.
Yeah. Come on, baby. course, it's just going to just sit there and
The
spin.
beauty of editing.
Yes, the beauty of editing.
Ooh, I can find my stat too.
It is a Pop 3.
Pop 3. Dang. What's your crazy asking price? I know it's just your
It's like
asking.
$900. So
Keep us posted.
I will. So that's my card from the vault. Little one ring to rule them all.
That's a sweet.
Maybe I should hit up Post Malone and say, hey, you want the base card of this? It's
Right.
graded.
Only $900. That's nothing.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Before we move on to your crazy stat, I do want to remind folks that if you've made it this far, we appreciate it. And to like, comment, subscribe, yes. Leave a review.
We are working on a night for trade
Yes.
night for card night. We're eyeballing mid to later mid October because this first part of October is pretty busy for the shop and for other shows and things that are going on. So later part of October, mid to later part, stay tuned. We'll pin it down one of these days and start marketing it.
Maybe we can do it. You have to be in costume.
That would be sweet. Walking around Collecticon, there is a lot of cosplay going on.
Yeah.
It's pretty cringy, most of it. But I told the guys I was with, I was like, we should cosplay next year. And they're like, you would want to do that. And I'm like, where else can you walk around like a comic book character and not get made fun of? So no one else was on board with it. But if you like the people watch Collecticon, it's worth the ticket price just for the people watching. But
fantastic. Well, what is your crazy stat of the week? Take us on out, Josh.
I have a crazy stat. It involves Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings. I coincidentally have them on all three of my fantasy football teams this year, so I'm watching him very heavily, and I'm doing quite well because of it. This stat says Justin Jefferson is just 24 years old and now has more career receiving yards than any Chicago Bears receiver in the team's over 100-year history. Let that sink in. 24-year-old. What? He's a rookie in 2020 with Herbert and Burrow and those guys. He already has more career receiving yards than any Chicago Bears wide receiver that's ever played. And they've had a team for over 100 years.
So what you're saying, he's okay.
What you're saying is, as long as he doesn't get injured, I'm going to do all right with fantasy this year.
There you go. Stay healthy there, JJ. Josh, thank you for your time. Jacob, thank you for producing. For you guys who are listening, watching, thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Bye.